regular friends there. Elaine, thank you for joining us. You must
Hi,
have been the first one here. Elaine runs our fan club.
Oh,
which
Elaine.
Which is kind of a crazy thought to think that we have a fan club page, but that's cool. If you like chatting about what's going on here, you can check them out as well on Facebook. I see Sydney, Australia, Louisville, Kentucky. Where is everybody from today before we get started?
Edmonton.
Philadelphia, PA. Tinker says they're from Philly.
Why can't I find you?
Melissa's going to join and moderate as well. Well, she's
if
already
I can
here.
Figure it out.
Dave from minutes away. El Paso, Texas, Pittsburgh, Red Deer, Alberta. That's pretty local. Texas Panhandle, Minnesota. It's almost a surprise and a rarity when we get somebody on from our local area here.
Yeah,
Los Angeles, North Carolina, Georgia, Toronto, Boise, Idaho. I just like saying that.
Yeah, I was
Boise.
gonna say, that's a fun one to say.
That in Cucamonga, California. So I guess first off, wanted to say thank you to everybody who's been watching our channel and who's been following along with everything the last little while. From buying estates and clearing them out to buying collections and selling them off. I have been buying and selling, aka hustling my butt off. That sounds suggestive. I haven't been hustling myself. I've been hustling the stuff that I buy.
He's starting hot.
That's
Trying to
right.
tip it down a tiny bit.
There we go.
So I don't look so little.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah.
That's better.
I saw Chris from Edmonton.
I don't think I'd be good at hustling myself. It'd be like, a wool hockey sock. Any takers? With my pant leg pulled up on the street corner.
Oh
No, they'd be like, nah, not thanks, bud. You get back to selling antiques. Well, back to what I was talking about, which was a big thank you. I have been very, very busy, I guess is what I've been what I've been pointing to. This is what's been happening in the past week. We are gearing up to build the store. We're just waiting basically until the frost levels are down a little bit more and the overnight lows get a little bit higher. So we're still projecting end of May to get the foundation poured. We got the broken doors at the store replaced.
Thank goodness.
And I've been reaching out to sign painter Dave, who's kind of the original rock and roll Dave. Sign painter Dave, aka rock and roll Dave, is the one who does the murals on our store and stuff. I'm going to get him to do sort of an interesting sign painting mural on those doors. That's why they're white right now. It's a blank canvas for him. Met with him. I was really busy today. Today was a nuts day. I had shipping to do. I have, did you guys see that at the end of the last episode, I had like piles of Ninja Turtles show up? It was like the very last thing I showed is that I just stopped at somebody's house at the end of the day and I bought like a ton, 4 big plastic bins full of 1980s Ninja Turtles. And you might say, who buys that stuff? Well, somebody did. It's already sold. And I have these big, I'm looking at them now, massive moving boxes. I've got 2 of them I've got to take down and ship out tomorrow. Problem is I might have to borrow your car to do it.
Oh.
Because my car, aka your old car, is completely full to the roof. It is like a class 5 hoard in the back of that vehicle right now, full of treasures. I don't even know what I bought today. I went to a couple of estates and bought some boxes full of stuff. I'm going to do an unboxing video. I'm going to film an unboxing video at some point tomorrow. I have no idea what's back there right now, but I know that my car is packed. It would probably save me in a rollover, because if I rolled, it's compacted so much, the car would just look exactly the same. It wouldn't get crunched. It is so full.
Hey, Austin.
But tomorrow, aside from me filming the this unboxing video of whatever's in the back of the vehicle.
Oh yeah, somebody said, or Elaine said, what did you get? I was thinking the same thing. I haven't even seen it yet.
I don't even really know what I got. So that'll be tomorrow. I'll film that after I do a live feed. Why am I doing a live feed tomorrow? Well, this was the whole point. Part of the point of this video was to get across the fact that the auction is ending. The Museum Artifacts Collection auction that we're hosting is live right now at kauctions.ca. And it starts at 11, I want to say 11 a.m.
Is that what it usually starts?
I think 10 a.m. I think it's usually 10 a.m.
Usually 10.
So 10 a.m. Mountain time. Mountain time. That's like quitting time. Mountain time. Bing, bing, bing. That's my triangle. Bing, 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 bing. Mountain time. Bing, 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 bing. 10 a.m. Mountain time, or Mountain Standard Time. That auction is going to start ending. So we will do a live feed for the first hour to see how things go. There are a ton of items. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take us on a little virtual field trip here.
Hey, Colleen.
Right after I drink this water. We'll go on a field trip. Are there any questions or anything?
Let me look. Yes, Cindy from Red Deer said, I was outbid on that cat print. Oh, I only looked up to see what cat print it was, I think, when you were asking about it. I mean, that's good for us, but not good for you.
Yeah, a lot of the artwork that was on that auction is by well-known artists, and I'm proud to say that Steven's art is on there too, and it's doing quite well, as well as a lot of the, like, some of those pieces should be $1,000 and they're at a couple hundred. I don't know if the right people are going to see this auction and get those items or not, but there are some pieces that should be about $1,000 each. They're only a couple hundred.
How is your shoulder? I'm gonna get some water. I forgot.
My shoulder is okay. I'll go into the live. I'll preview the auction a little bit here right now. But for those of you that were following along or weren't following along, around the time I was doing the Musician's House series in December, I tore not one muscle. Well, I tore a muscle in my rotator cuff in my shoulder, and it's been swollen and kind of sore. Jim Jackson says, "How is my favorite Canucks? Wishing you the best returns from your store cleanout auction." Thank you very much, Jim. My shoulder is still sore, but if you stop using your shoulder and you don't do things with it, you could get frozen shoulder. People just stop using it and they favor the other arm, and then you lose strength. I could get a cortisone shot, but I don't think I want to do that right now. They recommended physio, but honestly, if I keep working and I keep exercising that muscle, it will eventually heal, which is what happened to this arm when I tore it a year or two ago. So
you continually overdo it though. So there's a difference between physio and making it worse.
I'm a habitual overdoer. That's kind of my thing. When we finally get to a spot where we're satisfied with life, I feel like just throwing a wrench in the gears and trying to mix things up a bit, which is why our life is in such turmoil right now.
Well, I wouldn't say turmoil. I would say excitement.
Well, I will say, regardless of how, what is going on in the world right now and all that other stuff, at least we have stuff we have to look forward to. Things I will never stop. Even if I was sick and in bed, I'd still be trying to figure out what I could do to keep myself occupied while I was sick and in bed.
Colleen said, listen to your wife. And Vernon, thank you so much.
Listen to my wife. I do listen to my wife. I do.
Well, I mean, you listen, but I mean, you hear it, but it may go in one ear and out the other.
No,
you're like...
I heed your advice. I just have faith in some of my gut instincts. But we are going to do a little bit of a preview of the auction. So I'm going to take this off of the stand.
I'm going to watch the comments.
And we're going to flip this around. So if you are online and you go to kauctions.ca, not to Barn Finds or some of the other sites I guess I check out every so often, but kauctions.ca.
Thanks, Matthew.
You're going to see they have this sort of preview area here. So this is the next auction is this. Stan Reynolds Museum Artifacts Collection. Bum, 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 bum. That one right there. Ends tomorrow. The reason it's called that is that Stan Reynolds was a very well-known collector. There's a museum named after him. If you look back in the analogs of my videos, we donated the royal car. We had that donated to the museum. We ended up buying a lot of the really historic artifacts from his estate, and he was a fellow that had his own museum. And there is still a museum in his name that's run by the government now. So we're going to click on bid now, and we can actually start to see. Oh, it looks like they put sort of a preview of some of the paperwork that's here too. So for those people that were wanting to see some of the paperwork, they can see the verification here. You can see that a lot of this stuff was purchased in 1960 and was imported at that time. And then, ancient artifacts, Aztec idols, and so forth. So they did include some of the paperwork there because I'm sure people were probably really asking, is there paperwork with this stuff? And yes, I did give them the paperwork that I got with it, showing that this was all for the Stan Reynolds for the Western Canadian Pioneer Museum. So all this stuff came, the historic items came from that museum. It was nice that they posted the paperwork there. That said, now that we know there's provenance with these items, these first little bits here. Now, if you look online and look at what other Mayan jade carved beaded necklaces go for like this, they are typically about $1,000 US. Now, they would probably need a better stringing. They're not knotted or tied off in between. They were just strung to hold them together. But they're all around $100. So they are well below. Look, that one's only 60. These are normally retail about $1,000 each. These are hand formed, well, they're hand shaped and hand cut little jade raw stones that were worn as necklaces by Mayan folks. And
Dennis is saying that K Auctions sent a note that their shipping costs are 50% lower than before.
oh yes, yeah, they just got a new a shipping company to deal with the auction, and the shipping rates are half the price of what they normally are.
Thanks, Janice.
There are all kinds of items here. Stone Peruvian mace head, Incan copper blade, and this one had a note from the museum attached to it. Said it was found, I think, near Ecuador, if I recall. Anyway, there is some of the most interesting items I think I've ever had through, and I can't believe how. I mean, I shouldn't say this, but I can't believe how low everything is. You know, when you have a beautiful jade axe head carved over 1,000 years ago. That's a piece of history, and I can't believe it's only $170. That's actually quite large too. I mean, it's an axe head, so it's about the size of an axe head. It's like a little axe head. So there are quite a few items in here that have a long way to go to get to where they need to be. But I guess we'll see in how things go tomorrow. Right now, like you can get carved stone faces. Actually, Matthew, if you ever wanted to make some cool jewelry, you could really do something really neat with this stuff, I'm sure. Matthew, of course, is a moderator and friend of ours, based out of New York City. I always say it like the Pace Picante guys, New York City. Yeah, there are just a ton of really cool items. But aside from, I'm going to scroll up to the top here and search. Boom, 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 boom. And it has this little search bar here that you can search things. So we are going to search, maybe, what did I put it in? I don't know what I put through under painting. Oh yeah, religious shrine paintings. There's a mirror that Stephen did. Another antique shrine. Navajo sand painting. There is a Hopi indigenous pot, which is quite nice too. Ruben Zellermeyer, mid-century modern painting. It's meant to go like that. They have the picture rotated wrong. It's like two pipes in a bowl, I guess. A little oil on canvas rooster, silk screens, Norman Rich. Like these are the items that actually, if it was at a proper gallery, this sort of stuff, these signed 1960s Cobra art and other sort of prints, those are quite valuable. I'm gonna go back and see. Oops, helps if I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, we'll see what comes up. Oh yeah, the 1950s Picasso print, which is beautifully framed. It's doing okay, 700. This is Taller Cranston was a Olympic skater, I want to say. Correct me if I'm wrong, but also a well-known artist. And that is a signed limited print by him. Vasarely folklore portfolios. Hopefully they actually showed the art inside. I guess there you go. So that's a Vasarely. And I guess you'd have to be really into modern art to appreciate that kind of stuff. There are so many different items that are up for auction, from historical artifacts to ancient weapons, or I shouldn't say ancient. Some of them are. You know, there's an old Gamma German tank.
They're saying yes, Canadian figure skater and artist.
Thank you.
Many people are saying that.
I was, let's see, 1862 Robinson Crusoe by Defoe. That's a nice early copy of Robinson Crusoe. This is a neat piece. I don't know why it's only at $60. That's a World War II military portable film projector, 16 millimeter. Pretty rare piece, actually. If you aren't lacking intellectual powers, well, maybe buy this book, the 1831 Book of Intellectual Powers by John Abercrombie. I might need that myself. Little toy cash register. We had that at the store for a bit, and it comes packed full of money. There's West Coast carved art. There's spears. There's CNR lantern, switch lantern. There's a tomahawk. I mean, going through all this, you're going to see some pretty neat and pretty special things. It's probably some of the cooler items that I've had come through the store in the last little while. and it's all going up for sale. Oh, this was neat. I don't think they showed the jumpsuit, but this military tanker's helmet comes with the jumpsuit too. There's swords, a nice little ship. That's the one I uncrated on an episode before. It was the what's in the crate, and that ship was inside of it. So there's just a ton of neat stuff.
Because it's described as a case, it doesn't say there's a projector inside.
Oh, well, yeah, there's a projector inside of it. I'm just looking back at the auction here.
Glenn said, I'm going to bid on that projector. Don't tell anyone.
Antique. Oh, this is Master Mason was the brand of tobacco, and that's a cigar cutter. That would have been inside of like a general store, quite like my general store.
The auction misspelled the author Defoe as Dafoe.
Oh, well, sometimes there's typos that they don't catch, but that's okay. This Lantega boarding cannon comes from around the Philippines area from the 1800s, and they'd carry that on the ships, and they'd actually pick it up and run off the ship with it. So you'd hold it and run basically like an early sort of firearm, but it would take two people, one to light it and one to run with it. If you look online and see the pictures of how they worked, it's pretty crazy. But that's a really nice ornate piece with really wonderful brass work on it. There's a signed picture of Jacques Cousteau, which is pretty cool. This 1912 Mississippi souvenir postcard book was pretty neat because it shows all the paddle wheels and stuff inside. Let's see if I can get in there. Look at that. Early days on the Mississippi. I think there's so many neat and interesting items in here. It's hard to peg down what I think are the coolest, but there's a Civil War Colt. These are actually not going for very much. These are from Clay County, Arkansas, and they're in Clay County, the indigenous peoples did these arrowheads, and they did this little notch sort of detail on them, which make them very identifiable. But they also did little stone effigies. So there's figural effigies, there's a turtle effigy, there's an eagle effigy, and they would take the same sort of stone and carve it into little shapes. And basically the same way that they would make an arrowhead, they would make these little stone effigies, and they're really, really cool. But look, it's only $20.
The rooster's not Josh's. Right?
No, the rooster is not Josh's, no. Military helmets, British Tropical Overseas Pith helmet. This is the super duper cool German POW ship in a bottle that I got from a military museum that closed down. It was made by POWs, German POWs that were held in Canada. They had free time, so they let them do crafts like that. There's a firing signal cannon. All sorts of lanterns, swords. This is huge. We used to have this in our house, actually. This is it's labeled as an 1849. It's I think Winterman or Waterman pool, but it's a half hull model of a ship. Really, really neat piece.
Oops.
Oh, there's some of Stephen's paintings.
They're asking how are Stephen's paintings doing.
They're getting there. Stephen's paintings are getting there. Oh, these West Coast indigenous baskets are probably way undervalued. This basket alone would normally be about $1,000 or $1,200 or so. It's at $90. It's almost painful to see that it's at $90 when it should be about $1,000 piece. The Jacques Cousteau, I think it is a Karsh picture or a print of a Karsh picture. I can't tell you without being there to look at it. But yeah, Joseph Karsh did a wonderful array of photos. Signed Inuit artwork. Somewhere in here, there's a Hopi pot that's really, really cool. I put a bunch of cameras through too, so somewhere in here there's a whole pile of cameras. Either way, you got to go check it out because there's so much stuff, and the prices, are pretty reasonable on most of it. And there's only one day left, so I think that things are. As much as I'd love things to skyrocket up, I think that you're going to see some things going for a very fair price. So that's kauctions.ca. And you're going to see some amazing things on there. Just sort through, have a look-see, and they do ship all over the world, and they do have cheaper shipping options now. Apparently, they said it's about 50% less than what they were before. So, Liam says, hey, Alexander and Melissa, and thanks for calling me Alexander. He says, I've made your whole family custom leather wallets. They'll be in a mystery box in the mail soon. Can't wait for you to see them. That's actually really handy that you did that. My wallet just broke today. Are you psychic, Liam?
And thank you very much, Liam.
I wore it out. I wore my wallet out. That's how you know you've been shopping too much. So Pamela says, are you guys still looking to move? Yes. Will it happen anytime soon? Probably not. We are looking for some land right now, and because there wouldn't be a house on it, it takes a while to build a house,
Yeah.
and we have to figure out how to save up the money to afford to build a house right now.
Don't worry for anybody calling Alexander Alex, because anytime he introduces himself to anyone else, he says Alex.
Well, I
So-
feel it's like pretentious to give
But
you
now,
4
somebody
syllables
said, somebody said, now I'll make sure to always type Alexander. My apologies. But the thing is that if he had seen you and introduced himself, he would have introduced himself as Alex. So don't worry.
except for, yeah, family, close friends. Usually I'm Alexander for there, but
Yeah.
yeah, this is what the year will probably entail. Hopefully it'll be constructing the store and then constructing a new home for my family. This is going to be quite the adventure.
It'll be, yeah. Somebody said they named their son Alex, not Alexander.
Cindy and Red Deer says Alex in his video intro every time. Huh? I know. I've always felt like I prefer Alexander. If I'm honest, I prefer Alexander. That is my name. But Alex feels more informal, and I don't know.
It doesn't even, it's funny for me if somebody called me, because my family calls me Mel, which I didn't really even realize because they say it, but I'll notice if somebody else that isn't family calls me Mel.
Oh yes, there are a pile of items from Madame Rack's house. There are some musicians' house estate jewelry items that are in this sale as well. Somebody said, "Don't forget, there's jewelry in there." Somebody bid on a whole bunch of stuff and then they didn't pay for it. So there's a lot of stuff in there from that sale that need to be well, that are up for grabs, including what I think is one of the coolest pieces, and that's her personalized silver bracelet. Her family background was Czech, and so it says Betty Joan, but in Czech, and it's solid silver bracelet. It's a very, if you like that series and you want something that's very personalized, that was one of 2 personalized pieces that came from that house. And that there's no doubting that came from Betty Jones' estate because it has her name right on it. Anyway,
Yeah.
There's lots of cool stuff. What is going on? Oh, somebody asked me earlier, do I like the paint job on the Jag? Yeah, I am waiting on tires to show up. And I ordered some red lines, which are basically white walls, but they're red. And that was pretty popular to put on sort of racy cars back in the day, that if you had white walls, it was more of your cruiser. But if you had red lines, well, that must have been a pretty hot car. So I ordered red lines for it. They do still make them. I got mine from a company called Diamondback Classics. And it's really, really cool. Red Knight says, I'm hoping I win bidding on the World War II Japanese sword. Yeah, there's quite a rare sword. There's a World War II Japanese, it's a high-ranking officer sword, like an officer, like a general sword. You don't find the Japanese stuff very often. A lot of times that would stay with the family and not be available in the open market like that. So this is a World War II Japanese sword, and the blade on it is folded steel like they would have done with the samurai blades. Really, really neat.
Lynn said, hi, looking forward to the beer mug to get here. Was that the one that you brought home the other day to pack up?
Yeah, it's already in the mail.
I saw it.
That was our kids. We had this Utica beer stein that was sitting at the shop, and one of you watching at home right now. I hope it's not a surprise or gift or anything like that. But you ordered it and I mailed it, and when I brought it home to pack it up, my kids all looked at it and they said, look at the schnoz, look at the nose on that thing, because the Utica beer guy has like a big nose. And it's like a German-style beer stein. I think Brazilian beer, Utica. I can't remember anyway. But it's an interesting mascot anyway. Terry Jo Massey says, many thanks to you and your lovely family for hours of fun and wholesome entertainment. Stay safe and well. Thank you very much, Terry Jo. Janie says, Alexander finally got his red line Hot Wheel in adult size. Yeah, I do kind of like that. Yeah.
Do you speak French?
Je parle pas français.
We don't. I mean, we take French in school.
Up until grade 6. And then you forget it.
Because you never have really the opportunity to use it here. I mean, some instances, but...
Yeah, I know there's a Utica in New York. I just didn't know if the Utica brand was also somewhere else too. I'm not overly familiar with that brand of beer.
Cindy
Either
said,
way, it's pretty neat.
Love the shirt, Alexander.
Oh yeah, my little pink flamingo shirt that I'm wearing here today. I have to tell you, I don't know what I have in my car, but I have to tell you about the stuff, about my day. I'm going to tell you guys about my day today, if you're okay with that. Can I tell a story?
Yeah. Did you just look at me to ask?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're waiting for a story.
Okay, every day pretty much I get calls from people to go out to their houses and to buy things. And this morning I had a few things I had to do. First off, I went to a lady's house and they just I went there and they kind of were like, "Oh, right, we forgot you were coming." So I went out to the backyard because of COVID and everything. I wanted to bring the stuff up to the yard. So they just brought up boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and said basically, whatever you don't buy, we're just going to give away to charity. Now, that could be an opportunity to just kind of get stuff at a really cheap price, but I wanted to make sure I paid at least a fair price for it. So I bought several boxes of estate items, of which I am not entirely sure what's inside. It was the sort of thing where I peeked inside, saw a couple good things. I was like, yeah, I'll take the whole box. So when I do this unpacking video, I'm actually going to be surprised, as you guys would be, to see what's in there because I have no idea. So we're visiting the whole time, and it turns out that her husband worked with a guy that, you remember Dave that we got all the trains from when we had our old store? He used to, that was his boss at one point. So very small world. That his old boss was a guy that we used to buy trains from when we used to have a toy store. He was a big collector of Lionel trains.
Was that the one that I bought?
The Texas Special, which I probably should have kept because it was a really cool train. But so I load up my car with all this stuff, and I'm thinking, okay, my car is halfway full. There's still lots of room. I have to make 2 extra stops. One of them was going back to the weaver's house, the last little series I did, clearing out the weaving equipment and all that. I had a few pieces that were there, like a bookshelf and some other little things. So I went and I filled up the car with that and so now the car is basically full and I still have one more stop before the end of the day. This is where things get interesting. I go to this fellow's house. He sends me a list, and it sounds like basically small stuff. He said, I have a small little container full with some old toys and things in it. Maybe you're interested. So I went there with no expectations, thinking, okay, I still have room on the passenger seat. Well, couple things. One, he does have a few little things, but then he says, let me show you around the rest of the house. And before you know it, I put together this massive pile of stuff. Trunks full of things. What's in there? Oh, stuff that's been kicking around and, stuff that's been carried around with us. And now we got to sell because we're downsizing everything. So trunks full of things. And I mean, they're beautiful trunks. They're beautiful, like camelback trunks. There's a camelback trunk and it's very ornate. And there's another trunk and it's really ornate as well. Beautiful, beautiful trunks. Yes, I'm talking about another man's trunks.
I heard. I knew you were going to say something.
Yeah, but they were full. Oh, this gets worse. But they were full of antiques and sort of things. The problem was my car was already full. As I'm trying to load this stuff, he has a cat walking around, and this cat keeps kind of jumping on the antiques. In fact, at one point, it jumped inside of a box I was packing up, and I said, I think your cat wants me to take it home. Cat's name, what do you think the cat's name was?
Alex?
No.
Garfield.
Guess what the cat's name was?
Oh, I can go on
I want
all
to see
night.
if you guys can guess
Felix.
what the cat's name was.
Spartacus.
Spartacus? Nope, not yet. So this cat was following me around the whole time that I was loading up the vehicle.
Curiosity.
It was.
Was it?
Yeah,
Nancy?
The cat's name was Mr. Curiosity.
You got.
So go figure.
Nancy's good.
I go to this place and the cat's name is Mr. Curiosity. And Mr. Curiosity keeps trying to come back to the shop with me. I said, your cat's name is Mr. Curiosity? That's crazy. Because my store is also, I'm Mr. Curiosity too. So this Mr. Curiosity cat is following Mr. Curiosity, Alexander, all the way around, trying to jump inside the box. And it's very like, if you open up a cupboard door, the cat was like in there, like fragile. They had, what are the really fancy crystals? Swarovski crystals. They had these little statues, Swarovski crystal statues in a showcase. Open up the showcase to pull some books out of it, and the cat goes straight in there and just, I don't know how it wove itself around without knocking anything over, but it did.
Aren't you allergic to cats?
I am allergic to cats, but it's still a friendly cat either way. And so we have to kind of trick Mr. Curiosity into going into other rooms so that I can get the stuff out the door without the cat trying to run out the door. I get everything, I pay the man, we agree on a price, I get everything loaded outside, and I look and I forget that my car is completely full, and I have another completely full vehicle's worth of stuff. Those old steamer trunks are really huge. They're massive. And I do like cats. I just am allergic to them. That's the only problem.
Alexander like cuddles cats, so he's allergic to them. So he'll make sure that he's like
I like
really cuddling them.
I generally like all animals. I'm just very allergic to certain animals. But we get, I get everything outside. He says, has a nice day, and close the door. And I realize I have to get all this stuff home. And I had to unpack everything onto his driveway, all the stuff I bought. But luckily there was a little bit of room in some of the trunks, and there was a little bit of room in some of the boxes, and I managed to make everything fit. But it is level 5 horde inside that car. If I got pulled over,
black car?
Yeah, in the black car, it is wedged. You don't believe me?
I thought you meant like the ambulance, like you. Oh no,
Hang on.
I believe you.
Not only am I good, I'm gonna walk you guys out there, and you
Well,
can
make
see.
sure you're careful. Don't walk them out.
Okay, I'm not gonna walk you outside.
Because then you might.
I'll save that for
my
tomorrow.
house.
But it is, imagine like opening the back door on a vehicle and it's solid with stuff. That's what it is. The whole inside is solid. That's going to be tomorrow's problem. I have to unload it. After I do the live feed, I'm going to unpack the vehicle. It is crazy full of stuff. And have no idea where it's all going to go. This is my challenge. One of our regular viewers said, seems like you're just kind of flipping product over to other dealers these days. I will sell it to anybody. It doesn't matter to me if it's a dealer or anybody.
A customer can be a customer regardless of what they do.
Yeah, and the goal is to take your margin and move along. Take your margin and move along.
Is it still light in Edmonton?
Yeah.
Oh, my shaky hand. Oh, why did I do it one-handed? I apologize.
Maria says she's a new subscriber. Welcome, new subscriber. Hey, by the way, for all those people watching, go and hit that little thumbs up button on your screen. Go hit the like button, the thumbs up button on this. That would be awesome. Let's see if we can, we got 2,020 people on right now. Let's see if we can get 2,000 likes on this video. It's 567 right now. Let's see what it climbs to. 661. Oh, look, it's climbing. It's getting there. 719. Let's see if we can get it up to 2,000. 776. If you don't know where the thumbs up button is, it's right on underneath the little video as I'm talking. There's a thumbs up and it should have a bunch of numbers down there. Oh, it's up to 903. Look, I'm super goal oriented, so this is satisfying for me. 962.
Alexander calls it my car because Alexander took my old Volvo when we traded in the other vehicle for my new Volvo. So even though it's his, he still calls it mine because I drove it for so long. But he's driving his own car.
I am getting close to 400,000 subscribers, by the way. Incidentally, when we get to 400,000 subscribers, I'm going to try and find something interesting to do. I don't usually do a whole lot of giveaways or things like that on the channel, but I think that when we get to 400,000, we'll do something special for everybody. I don't know how I'm going to do it.
Well, you're pretty close. Like, I don't know, like for me, it says 397. Yeah, what is it on yours?
3,000 more subscribers and we're there. So when I get to 400,000, we'll do a special episode and we'll do some kind of giveaway. I think that's a pretty big milestone.
Yeah.
The big milestones in YouTube are like when you get your first 10,000 and then your first 100,000.
Well, you get a little play button at 100,000, right?
Yeah, but then after that, they don't do much. They celebrate.
A million?
Yeah, I think we're 500,000 or a million.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a million.
No.
Their milestones are crazy. You really got to work hard at YouTube to get.
I'm working at 20,000. I think I need an extra 50 people, but I need to do videos. I mean, to be fair, I didn't put a video out in a month.
Yeah. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. I mean, it gives you update. Why would a person subscribe? Well, when we put our videos out, it will send you a notification when the videos are out, especially if you have the notifications turned on.
And you don't miss any of our crazy adventures. And I mean, adventure actually follows us around. It most definitely follows you around. So it's
constantly weird stuff happening.
And it's kind of fun taking you guys all out with us. Like we get to share our adventures with you all, and you do feel like a big family. So it's lucky. It's lucky for us.
Yeah, we're getting so close to it too. 400,000 is a pretty big goal, and I remember when we look back on when we first started, I was really excited just even to have 10 or 100 people.
I remember when we hit our first 50. Didn't we celebrate? 50 subscribers? Because we knew that at least one of those was probably not family.
No, it wasn't when we hit 50 subscribers. It's when YouTube paid us $35 for a month's work, and I was like, "Pizza's on YouTube."
Oh, what? But you
Yeah.
have to. I think you have to wait until it goes up to $100 before they pay you. Remember?
Right. Kathy says, "I enjoy your adventures. Thank you. I have subscribed and selected the bell." Thank you, Kathy.
Because they brought us pizza.
Yeah, the other benefit of subscribing versus just watching the channel is that occasionally there's I'll notify people on there when these live feeds are happening. I'll put little messages that'll go out to you, and that only goes to people that are subscribed. So there's a little bit of extra content, I guess.
Amanda said she just subscribed to my channel. Woohoo! 49 more people.
But enough about that. Enough about YouTube. I mean, it's been an incredible journey so far. You know, some days it doesn't feel real. YouTube is certainly another job. It is work. An average day for me is today. I actually slept in a little bit, which is a rarity for me. I got up at I think 8 in the morning or 7:30 or 8 or something like that before I was actually.
Before I left, I made sure you were up. So
Yeah.
that was like 8.
But normally it's like 6:30 or 7 in the morning. I'm up and at 'em.
Yep.
And get ready, and I am going on my way to go do something, to run errands. I try and get as much as humanly possible done before my store opens. And I go out and I buy and sort and try and find sales for these items. And all of this is basically so that the end game here is I just want to have my nice little store in the neighborhood where we can give back to the community, and to have a nice home for my family in the country where Melissa can have some chickens. All of this work, the YouTube, the store, everything, the simple goals that we're aiming towards are just like a nice little country home or a nice country home, and maybe some chickens, a place to park a couple of my old cars where I'm not running out of space. And
I could have a big garden. I mean, I don't have to have a big garden. A smaller one is just fine. But if I have the choice, a rototiller is going to be needed.
Yeah.
Cindy said, I can't remember when I first subbed. Saskatchewan store?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's when Stephen and I went to Saskatchewan, bought her. If I would have known better, I would have done a much bigger video series on buying the contents of that store. We did like, I think, a couple videos out there, but that could have been like a full deal. We bought an entire abandoned antique store. That would have been such a good series if I would have just put some effort into it.
Well,
but I've learned since then.
Yeah, we're given exactly what we're meant to at the time.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, Kathy Cash is on. Hi, Kathy. Welcome back.
Did you see?
Yeah. I think, yeah, she's in here somewhere.
Somebody asked if she was on. I don't know.
I haven't I haven't done a song in a while either.
No, you've been practicing.
I have one that I want to do. I just have to learn it.
Ren said, will Josh give you some chickens? I don't think so, but he did say that he would set me up with his chicken guy. I mean, I know a guy that has a chicken guy.
Does he have them like inside of a trench coat? Like a bunch of little egg holders?
He said that maybe it would be a good idea, because I only want 4 or 5, to get a mixture of eggs and have like a surprise lot. The only bad thing to that is that you might get all roosters, which are noisy and try to eat you.
Peter says, are you still wearing a Seiko? I have my Seiko upstairs, but it needs a bit of a tune-up, so I'm wearing an old Omega right now.
Oh, just an old Omega.
It's not my fit. Oh, I'm excited because on Tuesday I have a fellow coming in with apparently his whole watch collection.
When is it? Monday?
No, Tuesday.
Wow.
I went to his house.
How did I hear Monday?
Oh, you guys know there's a couple things that I personally like. One, I get excited when I find little toy cars. Well, there's 3 things I guess that I get excited about. 1, boxes full of old toy cars. I'm like, woohoo! 2, actual old cars. I'm like, And 3, old wristwatches. Especially, they got to be automatic, but basically, which means there's no battery. You just move your wrist and they go, or manual aligned. So high-end watches, old toys, is like Hot Wheels, Matchbox, Dinky Toys, Corgi, all that. Those are like my favorite things to find. Or real cars when I come across those. I go to this guy's house. This isn't today. This is yesterday. And I'm kind of walking around, and very nice man. And he said, it's time for me to start selling down. So we're looking around, and I'm like, okay, I don't really, not really seeing a whole lot that I really need. And he said, oh, I see you wearing an old watch. And I'm like, yeah, I like old watch. He's like, well, I've got a couple I want to show you. And he opens up this drawer, and it was like, just glowing light of like, what? And he opens the drawer up, and it's nothing but like 1950s and 60s watches. I mean, like 100, I want to say. It was like maybe 100 or 200 watches just flushed to the top, and it was a big drawer. Like I can't even. It was so big, my arms won't be able to show it. It was a big giant drawer. He's like, "Ugh." and I looked over. And I'm like, you want to talk about these watches today? He's like, no, I might want to keep a couple, so I'll bring I want to pick out the ones I want, and then I'll bring the rest of them into the store. And I'm like, well, don't be afraid to bring the good ones too. I'd like to have a look. Because you don't want to get them and it's a bunch of broken old Timexes or something. You want to make sure there's some Omegas or maybe like a Rolex or something crazy in there too would be nice. But yeah, I was like, those moments for me are the moments I get excited. When I find old toys, when I find old watches, or if I find an old car, I get kind of, well, motorcycles are kind of old vehicle, I should say. I get excited. And so sometimes people from home, viewers like you, I put out a petition, I put out a plea one time, and I said, if anybody at your house, if you're digging through and you find old toys like old Hot Wheel cars that have the little red stripe around the wheel, if you have your old Hot Wheels from the 60s or 70s or even 1980s Hot Wheels, I will buy them from you. And I said, and I would still say that if anybody watching now has little toy cars, I buy that stuff. Why do I buy it? Not only do I think it's neat myself, but I have lots of customers for that sort of thing. So for me, that's a good product to have on hand. We have good customers for those items, and you always want to have lots of stuff you can sell. And then we had some people email us to curiosityedmonton@gmail.com. And we made a deal, and I bought, I think, 2 cases of Hot Wheels. It was great. I was super excited. I see there's a comment there. Allison Pilcher sent us $5. Thank you, Allison. Were there any other questions or anything? Got the flamingo for my grandson. Thanks for the lead, Melissa.
Oh,
that's
good.
from Patricia George. Thank you, Patricia, one of our regular contributors. Let's see. I'm just looking to see there. Oh, we've got. Kathy Cash watched the movie about your mom. It was wonderful. Was that the song that I wrote for my mom? Is that what you're talking about? The Ashes song?
I think it was the one where you guys went to Vancouver Island.
Oh.
It was on the fan site, I think. Was that for the flamingo? Was that the one where I said to go to the Melissa and Doug site? I can't remember now. There's so many flamingos.
Oh, you're at 20,000 subscribers, Melissa.
Oh, let's hold on.
Oh, by the way, if you are not subscribed to Melissa's channel, you can do so at, is it Melissa Archbold?
Yeah, I'm really creative.
Just look up Melissa Archbold on YouTube.
I didn't do anything really with. Hold on, let me just look.
Yeah.
Calmly take a look. 20,000.
There you go. Elaine says maybe the one about your dad's song. Oh yeah, I did do a song for my dad at the end of that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, right. I forgot it was.
You know, I enjoy writing my own songs, and I have several songs that I've been writing that I haven't just recorded or put to music yet. Mainly because I haven't had time, because I'm, trying to build a building, buy a house, build another building, design another house.
Well, and then by the time Alexander gets home, usually the kids will be in bed or getting ready for bed, and then they have school in the morning. So
I can't make noise.
Yeah, you can't make noise. You sound like
can't make noise. I know this is another reason why I need a little space where I can go and jam out and not bother everybody, like a well-insulated office or a little music room or something.
Or perhaps a field.
I'm not going to go record out in a field.
Thank you guys.
Now, Mark Chandler says, did you get the Meteor running? No, I thought about fixing the Meteor up because the green Mercury that I picked up the other day when I got the Chrysler, and somebody was saying it's not Chrysler, because in our area of Canada people will say it like Chrysler.
I say it Chrysler. I'm going to make you all angry.
Yeah, but they say it's Chrysler. Anyway.
Yeah.
When I bought that car, it also came with the green Mercury Meteor convertible, which is a Canadian specific sort of car. Unfortunately, the carburetor was off of it. I don't know if the engine was seized or not, but a friend of mine who's another antique dealer traded me a couple old advertising signs for it. I got a Kaiser Fraser dealership sign and an old Esso Imperial gas station sign. I'm okay trading, and he's actually picking up this weekend. They'll both be gone. They're both gone, which is fantastic.
Did Zenobia, did they go back and get the piano yet?
No, they're doing that tomorrow, I think.
So Zenobia and Hans are taking the piano, right? Is that right?
Yeah, Zenobia and Hans are going to take it. Sean couldn't figure out how to get it into his place.
Well, he did the measurements, and it ended up being too big for his space, trying to get it through and everything.
Yeah.
And we're not going to give the Jag to Steven because we'd be insane.
No, the Jag is
Not for his first car. Plus, he wants to buy it himself, so that would be too much for him.
Yeah.
My channel is called Melissa Archbold. I'll put some hearts up. And maybe, you know, I have some cooking videos that I did do that I just didn't edit because, you know, life. I'll put that up tonight as a thank you for the 20,000. I'll put one of them up.
I heard somebody said you need a barn with a recording studio in it. I was listening to an interview with a producer, and he was working with Peter Gabriel. Peter Gabriel had a barn on his property, and they were recording an album. I think it was So. I think it was Peter Gabriel's So album. And Peter Gabriel didn't have a very good attention span, and he was known to take forever to record an album because he'd get up and walk around and go do other things. And so they're in there, and and they said it was a live barn. So they had a recording studio in it, and there's like cows coming up to the window and staring at them, and it was a whole experience. Well, anyway, this producer got sick of Peter Gabriel walking out of the barn, and so he decided to barricade him in. And he said, I was afraid I was going to get fired, but it was the only way I could get him to do work. So they actually barricaded him inside until he got the tracks done, and then they released him. And he said he was pretty mad when he got out, but they got the work done.
Do you still have the Cornhusk Weaver doll?
No, I do not have the Cornhusk Weaver doll. That is gone. I was listening to a funny little story about Lucille Ball, and back during World War II, she had sore teeth, so she had to go to the dentist. And back in the 40s, they would give you temporary lead fillings, or they'd give you lead fillings. And she was explaining, some of you might know this story. Lucille Ball, you know, I Love Lucy. Anyway, when you get lead fillings in, sometimes it can kind of vibrate or make weird noises and things like that. Well, she says that she was filming a movie with Fred Astaire, I want to say, and she was driving back from set out to their country estate. And she noticed that when she was driving down a country road, she started to hear a radio signal come on, and she went to go turn it off, and her radio was turned off, and then it got louder and louder, and she realized it was coming from inside her mouth. That she was like, I don't know what to, she said. She said it was clear enough that she could recognize what the tune was. She could hear the music coming from her mouth enough that she could recognize the tune coming from her mouth. So imagine Lucille Ball, and there's like music coming out of her mouth, and it's like a song. So she gets to set, and she's talking to, I want to say Buster Keaton. She runs into Buster Keaton, and they're chatting on set, and she says, the weirdest thing happened. I was driving down this road, and I heard the radio start coming out of my mouth. And he said, did you just get fillings? And she said, yeah, I just got fillings. He said, that happened to a friend of mine. And when you must have been driving past, I know that road, you're driving past this radio station, and you picked up their signal. That's what happened. And she goes, well, that's crazy. So she said she tried driving down the road several times to see if it would happen again, and nothing happened. So she decided, I'm going to take a different way home. So she drives down a different way. And this is like right during World War II, like 1942, 43, like Pearl Harbor had just been bombed. And that was what, December 6, 42? Somebody correct me. I think it was December 6, 1942, Pearl Harbor is bombed. Meanwhile, Lucille Ball is filming a movie with Fred Astaire and Buster Keaton and something, and she's driving down this country road. And she says, her whole jaw started to chatter. Oh, 1941, thank you. And she said she heard this like vibrating from her mouth, and she started driving, and there was a field, and there was an old construction shed, and she said when she got right up near the shed, it got really loud, so loud that her whole face was vibrating. And she got freaked out, and she got the heck out of there. So she phoned the police because she said, I don't know what the heck's going on out there, but she was picking up like Morse code through her fillings in her mouth, in her jaw. And so she calls it.
Is this a legit story?
This is a legit story. This is a legit story. So she's driving down this road, and she's, okay, I'm going to get out of here. The police go and check in on it. They found an undercover Japanese spy that was sending signals to, I don't know, some offshore submarine or something from this shed. So Lucille Ball thwarted a covert operation of the Japanese
It wasn't
on.
like them sending out, don't forget to pick up eggs on your
No,
way home.
no, they found a Japanese spy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was on the Johnny Carson show. They talked about this. So if you can imagine, if you have fillings, maybe you'll pick up some interesting signals. I've got radios that don't even pick up signals at the store. And yeah, so Lucille Ball, there you go. She caught a spy.
I have two. One, sorry, I can't remember who was asking, but they're asking if you still have the jester head behind your cash register. Jester head.
I don't even know what that is. I can't place it,
And
but I
then
might.
Mary said, I'm checking out the auction and trying to watch you at the same time. So what should I get my almost 71-year-old hubby for his birthday tomorrow? Did you hear it? This.
What should I get my 71-year-old husband for his birthday tomorrow? Oh, I don't know. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
Alexander.
I think there might be an ancient Mayan fertility charm in there somewhere. I don't know what kind of weekend you want to have ahead of you, but
See what happens when you ask him questions. That's what
I don't
happens.
know. I don't know what your husband's interests are. But there's all kinds of neat stuff. There's some nice little coin sets. I don't know. There's some neat little things. There'd be all kinds of stuff in there if I went through there. I'm just.
I did do my hair a long time ago already. It's probably been like enough time that it's growing out.
All of the items at the auction tomorrow that are labeled the Stan Reynolds auction are from our store or from the Stan Reynolds collection. Yes, every single thing in that sale is from our store. Absolutely crazy.
Kathleen just did a Josh laugh. Ha.
71 cupcakes. That'd be a heck of a tower of cupcakes. That'd be fun to watch, I think. Ask the 8 Ball said, how did Steven's bear painting turn out?
I saw you ask that before too. He's very critical of his artwork. I don't know if it's the age. I think it turned out amazing. I don't know where it is. But we do have somebody that's interested in buying it. But hopefully it's somewhere because it was on the piano.
Genevia, I think that's your name. You're asking about the jester head.
Oh, yeah.
Call me at the store on Tuesday and I'll let you know, because if it's right behind the till and it's still there, I'll be able to find it. I just can't think of where or what it is right now. I wish my memory was that good. I can kind of envision some of the things there, but...
It's right behind the register hanging on the shelf.
Oh, I know what that is. That's the mask that we got from Venice. From Burano, Italy.
That was from 2004?
Yeah, we saw the little old lady was making them there.
Yep.
Yeah, it was handmade in Venice. Yeah, that's probably still there. You can give us a call.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to answer a few more questions here before we log off. We've got 8 more minutes of screen time here before we have to log. Yeah, the ball and chain is from my store. And I'll tell you a funny story about that. I went to a fellow's house to buy a whole bunch of movie equipment, like old theater projectors and really neat stuff. There's a video on it somewhere. It's one of our videos, one of our hundreds of videos. It's in there anyway. And this ball and chain was sitting on the floor of the garage. And I said, what's up with the ball and chain? He said, well, you know, that's from the old Fort Saskatchewan prison, which was like 1920s or so, or before. He said that they picked it up when they shut down the prison when they're building the new one, and they were using it for like, you know, stag parties, like the old ball and chain, you know, and they'd put it on the groom or whatever and make him walk around the whole day with it on or whatever. Anyway, they were using it as a gag gift. But a ball and chain is actually kind of a collectible thing. I mean, it's not something a lot of people have access to. Pretty neat.
So before that, they said, Barbara said, take a film of your full car before you empty it. You should take a picture.
Oh, I will. I will. It is packed. My car is completely packed right now.
Somebody said, why don't I want him to show the house? Because our address is on the front of the house. And when you're doing a live, it's hard to, when you make that kind of mistake, to edit it out.
Oh, true. Okay.
Oh,
Sai says, I got logged out. Don't know if you answered my question. You can ask it again and we'll try and answer it.
Yeah. Did you make sure the cat was out of the car?
Some Disney cast member says, I was very impressed with your car repair prowess, Alex. Have you decided to keep the New Yorker? No, the New Yorker sold. Actually, I wouldn't say it's a lot of mechanical skill. I mean, there's very basic things you need for an old car to run. You need basically gas, spark, and air. And generally, the air isn't the problem, so you're looking for gas and spark. If there's not good compression, that's another thing. But on a car like this, it was turning over. I checked it for spark. I had spark coming from the distributor, so I knew it was going to be something with the system. I was getting gas. So I just basically bought the parts I thought I would need to fix the electrical on it. Points, rotor, condenser, spark plugs. And I started with the most simple thing first, and that was with the spark plugs. Of course, I took the plugs out. I could see they were fouled, replaced all the spark plugs, and it fired right up. So I didn't even need to use any of the parts. In fact, I was able to return them. The total repair bill on that car, I had to buy a new battery for it, and I had to do spark plugs. I was into the repairs of that car for probably about $160. That's not bad to take a car that's not running and make it into not only just a running car, but a driver again for less than $200. It's pretty good.
What is the asking price on the new Enduro bike?
The Enduro bike sold, Glenn. It was $2,700 Canadian for the Kawasaki F7. It was basically a time capsule motorcycle. It only had 1,300 miles on it from brand new. It was basically like a brand new bike. That's not even broken in. But I advertised it locally, and I had a ton of interest in it, and a guy bought it, and he has a little museum in his house, and he's going to put it up on display in this little museum. Not in his house, in his shop. He's got all these old motorcycles up on a ledge. So it's going to go on static display. Kind of a shame because it is a very low mile bike, but then on the other hand, it's a low mile bike. If you start riding it, then it takes away some of the cachet with having a low mile vehicle. Ford convertible is gone or will be gone soon. We traded it off for a couple advertising signs.
Are you doing videos on the motorcycle and the Chrysler?
Patty, there already were videos on the motorcycle and Chrysler. You guys need to go back and check the videos.
When you click on the actual channel, you click on the videos, and then it puts it in order of when they were put up.
Yeah.
The newest going to the oldest.
Incidentally, YouTube doesn't always give you notifications for every video. If you're subscribed, it tries to, but it tries to give you the videos that they think you're going to want to watch. It does the same thing with the ads as well. Somebody said, "What about the ancient coin you found the other day?" There was an ancient Roman coin in the weaver's house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it ended up being from AD 140, and it had a lady's face in profile, and I can't remember. Somebody sent me all the details on it, but yeah, we found a 2,000-year-old coin, or close to 2,000-year-old coin, in the basement of that weaver's house. You never know.
I didn't even know you found that. Oh, sometimes it unsubscribes you. I found that as well. I was unsubscribed from a channel that I hadn't unsubscribed from.
Yeah, it was a Roman coin for those of you that were asking. It was an actual Roman coin. Not overly expensive.
What
it's
happened
maybe
to it?
$100 piece. Oh, it's at the store on the shelf. Just I was waiting to find out what it was before I went to sell it. Let's see.
I have the regular questions. Potter's house.
No, I didn't. The safety, you don't need a safety
and
inspection on the on a car like that. It was last registered and on the road 2 years ago. It hadn't been started in probably a couple of years, but because it was in the system and very recent, you basically just go get license plates and drive it. So it was the guy that bought it actually just drove it home. No problem, no issues, none at all.
Potter's house is still being rented, and we're hoping to sell it.
Yeah, the Potter's House is supposed to sell. If you don't know what the Potter's House is, go back through our video series, watch the Potter's House series. It's where you see the introduction of Hans. That's where we meet Hans for the first time.
Well, not me, but
That's
you
where
guys.
I met Hans for the first time. Hans' first appearance on there. And Josh, I think that's one of his first appearances helping us to build something.
Austin's on that.
Austin appears on there. Potter's House is like the origins. If this was a really...
Yeah, of our crew.
If it was like a really sort of lame Marvel comic, it would be like, that would be the origin issue.
We had some like amazing characters in the Potters, friends and people that helped us out on the Potter's House that didn't reappear in these ones because they live out there.
Carmen.
Yeah, Carmen and his family.
We would be happy to have. And a lot of people ask, why isn't Adam working on stuff for you? Adam lives on the other side of the continent.
Country, yeah.
Yeah, we're on the other side of the continent, basically. He's in Ontario, we're in Alberta. It's kind of like the difference between Washington and New York. Not a very easy commute.
No, I mean, if you were to drive, I think it said a day and 12 hours or some crazy thing.
Yeah,
straight driving.
He used to live here, but we shipped him back home.
Oh yeah, Patrick.
We stuck him on a train, and I'm sure that was super fun for him, like a 5 or 6 day train ride, which sounds romantic and fun at first. I assure you it probably was not. Anyway, he's doing great. I always get the updates from him on the projects he's working on, and he's a wonderful drywaller. I would love to have him working on our projects. That would be amazing to have him working for us. But he's busy out there. Plus, he does big jobs. He does big commercial jobs. I'm a small fry for him. When I look at the stuff that he's working on now, Adam is working on like, I don't know, 65 suite apartment buildings, and he's doing the whole thing.
We still want to live in the same type of area. We're still around Edmonton because our work is here and our kids' school is here.
I have seen what's happened with the Rolls Royce. What's happened with the Rolls Royce?
What's happening with the Rolls Royce?
I thought I'd be getting it back today, to be honest with you. There will be an update video coming soon. Beginning of the week, they said the car is done, but we have another car that's broken down parked behind it that we can't get out right now, so we can't get your car out. I thought they would have gotten it out by today. I actually left a message with them. I'm like, guys, can I get my car today? I didn't hear back. I'll try them on Monday and see. But with any luck, I'll have that car back on Monday or Tuesday. But it's still not completely done. For those of you that watched that series, while it was in the shop, it ended up getting a bit of a dent on the bumper. So it has to go back in to get that fixed. And it needs to go to the upholsterer to get a little bit of work done on the top, the finished work done. Yeah, it has taken a long time. I don't want to miss another. It's been a year pretty well since it's been in there, and I don't want to miss summer with it. You don't want to have a convertible and not be able to drive it.
Jamie said, sounds suspicious. It's funny because the kids play this video game that they say sus, so we say sounds sus.
Yeah.
It makes them crazy.
But it should be done anyway.
So
to answer your question, it should
so
be done.
Far. But we still have like upholstery that needs to be done on it, right?
You know how many cars have come and gone in the amount of time that Rolls has been sitting in that shop?
I mean, but that made room for those cars to come and go.
Yeah.
It was like free, well, not free.
We had
storage.
the Alfa Romeo, the BMW Isetta, the Cadillac, the FJ Cruiser. What else? The Chrysler, the Green Mercury. That's 7 already. And that I know that there's got to be some others in the mix there too.
Oh my goodness, that one that we just had from the Weavers.
The house the Buick, the Buick. My goodness, the Land Rover. Yep, you guys are paying attention. Though in the amount of time that car has been sitting there, we have brought back to life probably like 8 vehicles. Yeah, the Woody wagon, the tow truck. I was able to resurrect probably half a dozen vehicles. Oh, I didn't have a Hudson. No, the Airstream was before. The Ford Cobra. I didn't have. Oh yeah, I did have a Cobra Mustang. I was like, yeah, I didn't have a Cobra, and I'm like, oh right, I did have a Cobra Mustang.
But that was at the store, like in behind.
Yeah, right? we gave that car away.
Oh
actually.
I forgot.
Yeah, no Wienermobile. Yep.
For our schools, as long as they started in that school, you get to be grandfathered in regardless where you move. That's how it's supposed to work. You cross your fingers and hope that that's how it works. Somebody asked if they have a mile radius.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is what the game is from. Melissa was not the imposter. Whatever that game is.
Among Us.
I played it once and I said, you guys, why am I going down a vent? Which means that you're the suspect or whatever it's called. So I gave myself up because I didn't know what I was doing. So
Renee asks, have you ever seen vehicles you fixed up and then sold driving around in your area? Yeah, and for the we used to have a 1972 Ford truck. It was a camper special, 2-tone with a chrome package on it. It was crew cab. Oh, I shouldn't say it was a crew cab, it was an extended cab. And it was a good vehicle. I got it. We took the old gross camper off of it. It was in really good shape. I polished it all up. We drove it for a while and then we sold it. And I was at just about a year or two ago, I was sitting at a stoplight and it pulled up next to me. I'm like, that's my old truck. And it made me have a little pang of heartache because it was such a good vehicle. And days like today when I completely fill up my SUV, I think, I wish I still had that truck. But nothing beats the ambulance. I have a friend who has an antique store and he came in his extended cab, or he has a crew cab. So it's a 4-door truck with the extended box, 3/4 ton, big truck. And I was able to fit more in my ambulance than he was able to fit into his truck, basically. My ambulance holds a lot of stuff. It's a very good hauler, very good vehicle.
If you had to sum up what our channel is about, or your channel is about, what would you say it is for somebody that just started watching? They probably got
Our
overnight.
channel is about pursuing your goals and your dreams without inhibition and looking for ways to overcome obstacles and to find a path forward regardless of the challenges ahead of you. Our show happens to get there by buying and selling antiques, but the moral of our show is to push past obstacles in your life and to live the best life you can.
That was a pretty good sum up for being put on the spot.
There you go.
I would have been like, well, sometimes I cook and we go to the park on mine.
Yep.
Did you buy a boat?
No, I didn't buy a boat. That's because you were posting on the Curiosity.
No, that wasn't me. Somebody. Oh, was that you, Kelly, that posted the boat?
There was a 63 Corvette boat. It was like
Yeah.
a boat that looked like a 63 Corvette. And I said, wait till you see what I brought home. And somebody said, did you buy a boat? No, I didn't buy a boat.
Yeah, somebody posted that, and I said I wouldn't be surprised if I came home and found that in my. It might have been Kelly that posted that.
So guys,
Yes, it was me.
thank you so much for joining us today. I think aside from the live feed, I'm going to try and get, maybe some of you don't care about this. I'm going to try and get a song out this weekend. That'll be a goal of mine to try and, I have a song that I want to do.
Some of them do want to hear.
I have there's an old Bob Dylan song I want to learn. And I'm going to see if I can knock it out and figure if I can sing it. So we'll see. We'll see if I can do it or not. I'll try and get a song out.
So the kids don't have to go to bed right away.
That's right. I'm going to keep them up with my yodeling. I'm
not
going to practice
sure.
yodeling.
Somebody wrote earlier that one of their favorite live feeds was when you did the, what's it called? Like the jam session.
Oh, the jam session live feed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could do that again. The problem, part of it is that you know what it's like when if you do a drawing and show it with the world, you can see all the imperfections when you.
But sometimes that makes it not only does it make it real, but it makes people feel more connected when you have like something like that, like a jam session where there are the mistakes and there are just the, real life happening at the same time. I think that creates a better connection than
I am my own
edited
worst
piece.
critic. I am definitely my
Edited
own
piece of
worst
life.
critic for sure. But I will try and get something put out there anyway. I'll try and get some. I have to learn it today. I have to practice it to the point where I can sing it all the way through, because I do these recordings in one take, all the way start to finish. I don't stitch a bunch of stuff together.
Yeah.
So I have to be able to play it confidently all the way through from start to finish. It's just me on guitar, and I'll work on it and I'll see. Either way, guys, thank you very much for joining us today on the live feed. Incidentally, if you haven't checked out the auction, go to kauctions.ca and check out the Stan Reynolds Artifacts Collection Museum Artifact Sale, or whatever we called it. That's the worst lead-in ever. Go check it out.
Oh, you beat
the
me,
point
Matthew.
is, the point of this sale is, I kid you not, it's some of the best stuff I had in my store, and it's things that I would think they're museum quality items. In fact, a lot of the items did come from a museum. So if you really want something very special, this is definitely the right to.
I think it's one of the only opportunities to get items like that.
Pretty much the only opportunity to get items like this right now.
Yeah.
So go check it out. There's lots of really cool stuff, guys. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow on the live feed. At 10 a.m. Mountain Time, I'll be online for an hour, and we'll watch the auction and we'll see how things go. So fingers crossed for a successful auction tomorrow. Any money that we make from the auction tomorrow is going towards hopefully purchase of land or for purchase of a new home for us. So.
Yep.
We'll see. It's save, so we can work towards that. You guys have a wonderful night. We'll see y'all soon, and bye for now, guys.
Good night, everyone.